Welcome to Strategic Aviation's online training for airside driving. Module 1, Introduction. This online course will provide you with a general overview of airside driving. Please note that this course does not replace any required airside driving training or testing that is required at your base. You will take a final quiz at the end of this training and must receive a score of at least 80% in order to pass. There are a total of 5 modules in this course, including an introduction and definitions, safety surrounding airside driving, rules and regulations, information on how you can obtain your permit, and finally, a review of what you've learned. Keep in mind that each module will be followed by a short quiz, which you can retake as many times as you need to. You should have seen our safety policy in your employee handbook and mentioned in other training courses. This safety policy is especially important when it comes to driving on the ramp, which can potentially be one of the most hazardous activities you may perform while at work. Reporting any safety concerns you have, wearing your PPE, obeying all of the rules and regulations for airside driving, and stopping whenever you're in doubt are just a few of the ways you can be a safety ambassador while driving airside at work. Next, we will review some of the terminology you will hear while learning about airside driving. There are many different parts of the airport, and it is common that the term airport can be replaced for aerodrome. Aerodrome can mean any area of land or water officially used for airplanes to take off, land, or be serviced, but it can also refer to the buildings used for these purposes. All airports can be divided into 2 parts, airside and groundside. Airside is that area beyond security checks and passport control, which is used by the aircraft to load, unload, take off, and land. An airside escort is someone who is authorized to escort others into the restricted areas of the airport. Air traffic control is usually located in a tower overlooking the airport, as this is where aircraft and vehicle movements are controlled from. The Airside Vehicle Operator's Permit, or AVOP, is what you will be working towards. This is similar to a driver's license, but it allows you to drive airside in certain areas of the airport. There may be different types of AVOPs at your location, so please ask your supervisor for more information about the type of AVOP you will obtain at your base. Prerequisites for obtaining an AVOP are having a valid restricted area identification card, as well as having a valid driver's license. Runway visual range, or RVR, is a term used to express how far a pilot can see down the runway, usually given in feet or meters. When the visibility is very low, the airport may adjust operations for reduced visibility operations or low visibility operations by reducing or even stopping work airside until the visibility improves. The operational stand is a location on the apron where the planes are parked, serviced, and loaded and unloaded. There may be ramp workers, equipment, and other vehicles in this area that you must be aware of when driving on the ramp. The apron is the area of the airport where aircraft are serviced, loaded and unloaded, and also where many vehicles, equipment, and passengers may be moving around between the terminal, the aircraft, and possibly other parts of the airport. You will see painted lines on the apron which will help you identify the vehicle corridor, where it is safe for vehicles to travel, just like on a regular road. You will receive base-specific training for those areas before you obtain your AVOP. The critical area is where the navigation aids, communications equipment, and other sensitive equipment operate. It is crucial that this area remains clear to avoid any signal interference. Foreign object debris, or FOD, is any small objects or litter on the ramp which could possibly cause damage to an aircraft or to you or your colleagues working airside. The term pushback is used to describe the airside operation where a vehicle, called a tug, moves an aircraft back from an operational stand to the area where it will start its engines. The movement area is used to describe all of the controlled and uncontrolled areas an aircraft may move in the aerodrome. The maneuvering area is a portion of the movement area used for takeoff and landing, such as runways and taxiways, and are usually controlled areas. The following are some common rules for you to follow as a driver airside. A driver cannot enter a controlled area without permission or clearance from ground control. A controlled taxiway is similar to a controlled area, as clearance from ground control must be obtained, and often a specific type of AVOP must be held by the driver of any vehicle to enter. Any uncontrolled areas or taxiways, on the other hand, may be used without clearance from ground control. However, an aircraft will always have the right-of-way. Any restricted areas at your base will be clearly marked with a sign or security gate, and a visible rake must be worn at all times, or else an individual would have to be accompanied by an airside escort. While you may be used to driving on the roads and highways in your city or town, driving airside is a very different experience. The remainder of this course will review your roles and responsibilities as an airside driver, the specific hazards and safety considerations to be aware of when driving airside, as well as general rules and regulations. Every employee will also have to take a test to confirm that they can drive airside. While every airport has a different test structure, we will provide an overview of the general types of tests you may experience in Module 4, as well as what happens if you do not follow the rules and regulations of your AVOP. To finish this module, we would just like to remind you that this online course covers only a general overview of the policies and practices for driving airside. Every airport authority will have different rules and regulations, which you must be aware of before you obtain your AVOP and begin driving airside. It is a serious responsibility to hold and retain an AVOP, and at S8 Holdings, we treat this responsibility with all the respect it deserves. If you have any questions about driving airside, even if you already have an AVOP, please talk to your supervisor or manager. When you are ready, please continue to the quiz.